What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I am your host, Kory Willis. I hope you all are doing well on a Friday. Hope you guys are getting set for week 7 of the college football season with friends and family. Hope you get a chance to, go out to some nice bars with your friends or even yourself over the weekend. Watch a lot of college football games. Just, enjoy the festivities over the weekend.
Yes.
Yeah. As always, we appreciate you guys listening in on the show. Of course, we are on many different streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, and many more streaming platforms. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know how we're doing with the show and let us know how we can improve for the future. As always, I'm here with my good friend and co-host. You know who he is. He is Chris Bolton. What's going on, Chris?
What's good, Kory, man? How we doing?
Oh, we're doing good.
Yes, sir.
I'm getting excited for another week of college football, so I can't complain.
Week 7.
Week 7.
Week 7.
Just
like that.
We go through this over and over every week just about how quick this college football season can be, Chris. And we're already at week 7.
We're already at week 7, and there's still so much left, though. We're just, the middle of October. We're in the trenches now. It's October. And then when November comes, that's when it really gets real.
Yeah.
But every week is important. Every week matters. And it's almost, I feel like, honestly, too, with college football, man, you almost have to reset after each week. Honestly, how coaches talk about, we're 0-0. You know what I'm saying? We haven't played yet. We're 0-0 this week. No, that's the honest truth. Because one week you can beat the dog crap out of somebody. Look at Kentucky. Put a spanking on Florida. And the next week, you're the one getting spanked. You're the one getting paddled. So that's college football for you, though. You go from being on the high to being on the low the very next week. So we'll see who can be on that high this week. Exactly.
It's a jungle out here, Chris. Everybody
it is
it's a jungle. Like what else can I say?
You're scratching and clawing. Facts. And so yeah, we're going to talk about who's going to be the top dogs this week. Who we have?
Yeah, absolutely.
And some of the big matchups.
Yeah. So we got a couple of matchups this week that I think that it is. Quite obviously going to be some pretty good matchups this week in week 7. We'll go ahead and start off with the game out in Washington where the Washington Huskies, Chris, will host the Oregon Ducks. This game, I think in the Pac-12, this has been one of my most anticipated matchups of the season in the Pac-12, and I know for you as well, Chris, that this is also a game that you've been, keeping your eyes on. But now we're here. Right now, the line is Washington by 3 points. That's the Vegas line, and the over/under is at 67. So, what do you think, Chris, about this matchup this weekend? Who do you think has the edge, and what each team has to do to come out of this game with a W?
I think we're going to see arguably 2 of the 5 best teams in the nation play each other in this ball game. The AP poll might say otherwise. Like the polls might have them, as 7 and 8, if I'm not mistaken.
Oregon 8, Washington.
Oregon 8, Washington 7.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But if you've seen these two teams play this year, you know that they are spectacular. They both have veteran, good quarterbacks. Both have actually been in the portal, both transfers. Bo Nix originally started his career as an Auburn Tiger. Michael Penix, he was at Indiana.
Yeah.
So, two guys who have transferred, and it's worked out well for them both. As they are playing the best football of their career. Both having career seasons right now. Penix, he has 15 or 16 passing touchdowns, 2 picks. Bo Nix, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception. So these guys have been spectacular. I will give the edge to Washington right now, since they have the home field. It's going to be tough to go there, and that place will be raucous. It will be a crazy environment. It will be chaos. It'll be a sold out game. The fans will be electric. It'll probably be the best environment of the weekend. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. And these are two evenly matched teams. Of course, as the spread will tell you, with Washington just being a 3-point favorite, and honestly, that's because they are the home team, or else it might be even if this was a neutral site game. But the keys to victory, I think, it starts with who makes the fewest mistakes, first and foremost, especially for Oregon, going on the road. You don't need those false starts, as you get your drives going, the ball is moving downfield, you pick up 6 yards on first down, the 2nd and 4, and then boom, you get a false start. Now we're at 2nd and 9. Those are drive killers, especially on the road in this kind of a matchup, going against a top 10 team. So both teams need to play clean football, but I think Bo Nix, he has to be big time. He has to be the Heisman candidate. He is. Road games like this, you're going to lean on your veteran quarterback. You're going to ride or die with them, with how they play. And Bo he's had moments where he's looked good. Then we've seen times, in Auburn, especially, where in a big time matchup, you fall short, and it can get bad. And we're going to see just how much he's matured and grown as a quarterback. How much he's how good he is, and can he lead this team that I feel like has a stingy defense. Oregon has a really stout defense, a physical O-line that I think will make things easier for him, can put him in position to be successful. Can he get the job done? And so that's what I'm going to be on the lookout for. Can Oregon minimize the mistakes made in this game? Can they dominate the line of scrimmage? This is a team that takes pride in dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, being a physical O-line and a tough, stout defensive line. And then for Washington, can Michael Penix, can he continue his magic? I mean, he's looked spectacular. So I think this one has a chance of being a semi-shootout. I think the defenses are going to come to play in this one. I don't know if I would bet on the over-under in this matchup. I think I might leave that alone, because I could see a world where this game hits the under. Because I really think these are two really good teams, so it might be that filling out process at the start of the game, and you might not really be putting up points early on in that first quarter, and things continue to ramp up as they fill each other out. But it's going to be fun. I'm just glad we get to kick back, get my pizza, Give me a few cold ones. And I can sit back and watch it because this is going to be a movie.
Absolutely. Both of these teams have been electric this year, Chris. And for anyone that's been watching Washington, Michael Penix Jr. I mean, what more can you say? He's a magic maker. He's a magician out there. Probably more so than a Bo Nix is, but for both sides, what you said, Chris, I definitely agree. It is going to come down to can Bo Nix handle that environment? Husky Stadium, when it's rowdy and just raucous, like it's all of that, and it can be very hard to win games in that stadium from time to time. So you want to see, can Bo Nix handle that environment without making many mistakes, and can that Oregon defense that has been playing pretty well this season, you want to see them perform very well also. With pretty much right now yards allowed, Oregon is at 255.6. Washington is at 365 even. Mm-hmm. So that tells you all you need to know about these two defenses. Oregon, I think, has the better defense, but at the end of the day, Michael Penix Jr. And his crew is actually leading this game in total yards. Washington with 569.4. Oregon has 557.8. So not by much, but just enough, which just shows you how much of a force he is in that backfield for that Washington offense. So it's gonna be.
Can Oregon get home? That's going to be big too to see. Can Oregon get home on Penix? Because he's special. When he can really make some plays, and you don't need a guy like that working his magic 4 seconds, 5 seconds, 6 seconds into the play. Extending plays. You want to get the play over. You want if you can get him sacked, bring him down.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, so, and it's going to be a tall task, like I said. Can they do it? I think this Oregon defense definitely has the dudes to do it. It's all a part of, can they actually do it in the game? Can they seize that moment and take care of business on defense? So it's going to be a great game. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be a 2:30 game on ABC, depending on where you're at.
2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern Time.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll get to see that game earlier in the day. So
I think I feel right. A Pac-12 game in the daytime,
right?
My goodness,
where they do that at?
That's so rare. Yeah, exactly. But I think Oregon, I'm pretty sure they probably watched a lot of film from that Arizona game. Mm-hmm. Arizona gave Washington a really good game. That was a close matchup. Washington pulled it off.
Yeah.
But somebody I wanted to mention as an X factor, as you're wearing a Mississippi State shirt that we know very well. Washington, they've been cleaning up in the portal. We talk about Penix being a portal player. So is their leading rusher at running back, Dylan Johnson, former Mississippi State Bulldog. If there's somebody that can match the physicality that Oregon brings, it's Dylan Johnson. He runs with bad intentions.
Exactly.
He's not shying away from contact. So if he's a factor, if he's making plays in this ball game, that bodes very well for Washington. Because we've seen the impact he's had on Mississippi State's offense when he's running well. What Mississippi State was capable of doing in games where he had 70, 80 rushing yards, which if you you equate that when you get 70 yards rushing in the air raid offense, that's like 120, 125 anywhere else. So,
Exactly.
but he's somebody I think that we should keep an eye on in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think comes away with the win?
For me, um, I will, I will say because of that Oregon defense being so stout right now, I think in the end, that defense will actually help Oregon leave Seattle with the W. I'm going to go with the Ducks in this game, and I will say it's going to be a closer it's going to be closer of a game than what we think. So kind of what you were saying earlier about the over under, I'm leaning towards that. I don't think it's going to hit the upper 60s.
I really don't think so either. I really think it's going to
Yeah.
be a battle.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be two SEC teams, but I think there's going to be that filling out process of how it can be when two top 10 SEC teams match up against each other, and how those first quarters can be, those first halves can be, where it's like that back and forth, just trying to crack each other's armor and get the big play going. But I agree though. I'm taking Oregon in this one.
Okay.
I'm taking Oregon in this one. The Ducks are really good, man.
They are.
Both teams are great, but just what I've seen from both teams this year, I feel pretty confident that Oregon can go on the road and get this one.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm rocking with the Ducks as well. So we see eye to eye on this one.
Okay. That makes me feel good. Because I was about to say, I was like, hey, look, am I not seeing something here?
Nah, man, I'm right there with you. But we wouldn't be shocked, of course, if Washington wins. They are the home team. They have a guy who can very well bring home the Heisman this year. I mean, it's not impossible. This is the first game we're talking about for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna rock with the Ducks on this one.
Okay.
I really like what they've shown this year, man. They look like they're on a mission. Honestly, I feel like they truly are on a mission to win a national championship.
Absolutely.
Like it's Oregon against the world. That's kind of how they play football.
I agree. So, all we gotta see now is on Saturday, can they replicate that on the field?
Can they do that, or did we just curse them? We're going to find out.
Don't come after us, Oregon faithful, if anything bad happens to your team. So, I promise you, we don't have anything to do with it. I promise you.
Man.
Oh man, but that's our pick. Anything else you want to add to this game, Chris, before we move on?
Nah, I'm good, man. Like I said, I'm gonna have me a couple cold ones ready, couple brews, have my food, and I'm gonna sit back and enjoy this one. Since the beginning of the season, we both love both of these teams. So, this was a matchup I couldn't wait to happen. And so now it's time to sit back and just enjoy the show.
Yep. Now we're here. Well, all right. Well, we'll go ahead and segue now, Chris, to a game in the SEC where we have Texas A&M going on the road to take on the Tennessee Volunteers. This game is going to be a 2:30 CBS game, of course, in Knoxville, Tennessee. So the line right now, Tennessee is a 3-point favorite. Over under is at 55 right now. So I wanted us to talk about this game, Chris, because I'm not going to say that this game is necessarily a tricky game, but it's definitely a game that I do think we need to watch out for because A&M being in the Western Division, Tennessee being in the East, both teams technically have everything still in front of them in that SEC division race.
Unless they lose this game. So it's a huge matchup for them.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a bigger game than what I think a lot of people probably realize, honestly. And it's kind of a show me kind of game where you want to see can whoever wins this game finally get over the hump. Texas A&M, we can go on and on about their struggles in the past. Tennessee had that mulligan against a Florida team that has been quite honestly up and down this year. You want to see better from them because you feel like they have a really good coach in Josh Heupel. They have good players. I'm still a Milton believer. I still believe in Joe Milton. So I want to see what happens in this game. Who has that fire in them, that dog in them, as we always talk about in football or just any sport, to pull out the victory, to prove the doubters wrong. I really want to see that. So, what do you think about this game?
I think it's another interesting matchup. We talked about with the SEC this year, just how this conference is, where like there's not a lot of separation between the teams. Of course, you got Georgia and Alabama. It looks like they've shown themselves, they've proven themselves to be a tier ahead of the rest of the league. But the rest of the league is just like so thinly stacked up around each other. I mean, it's really tight. Anything can happen any week. And whatever happened the week prior has no relevance moving forward the very next week. So I'm curious to see how A&M plays in this one. On the road, you already lost 2 ball games. So college football playoffs, or your playoff hopes, more than likely 99% chance they are done. But you still can finish second in the West, and you never know what happens if you continue to take care of business. Maybe things can swing your way, and there's a chance you can represent the West. We'll see as the season continues, but you got to win this one first and foremost. And for Tennessee, they got beat pretty decisively by Florida earlier this season. Florida played a real tough, physical game against Tennessee. And A&M, they what they do isn't pretty. They aren't finesse.
No.
So
not at all.
They aren't finesse. Well, over the years, it's been hard to watch what they do. It's been a little easier on the eyes this season, but
just a little bit. That defense, granted, they played a little bit better, but they're not the flashiest team in college football. I'll say that
they aren't by any bit. But Tennessee wants to be. But they've had to change things up a little bit this year as well, because their passing attack is nothing like it was last season. They're honestly a better team when they are run focused. But I know we picked Texas A&M last week. Jalen Milroe, he made the throws in that ball game that he had to make. He threw for over 300 yards to help Alabama get over the hump and get that win. I don't know if Milton can do that. I really don't know if Milton can have that game. I think if A&M plays the same intensity, the same focus, in a similar scheme against this Tennessee team, I think there's a chance that Milton it doesn't work for them. That it doesn't connect. Those deep bombs that Milroe connected on with his receivers, with Jermaine Burton in particular, I don't know if those passes are completions in this ball game. And so I want to see if Milton can prove me wrong. I want to see. I have nothing against the kid. And if he proves me wrong, we'll be back on this podcast Sunday night singing his praises. But picking this ball game, I lean towards Texas A&M. I'm gonna be honest with you. I lean towards A&M in this game, and it just goes to show you, like I said, with the SEC, what happened the week prior has no relevance. This, I think, is a very tight contest that might just come down to a few plays. But if Milton can't get the deep ball working, that connection working, there is a world where A&M low key could run off if they have things working on offense. So I'm rocking with A&M. That's my pick for this ball game. I think it'll be another fun SEC contest. I think it'll be another good game. I'm not anticipating a blowout by any means, because Tennessee can win this ball game too. Tennessee isn't no slouch, you know. They are full of talented guys, but I just have an inkling. I have a feeling that A&M pulls this one out.
Yeah, and you know, I like to add too, because I'll go ahead and say I think A&M is the much more talented team, and I'm looking for them to win this game too. Just because I think Max Johnson has been playing lights out for, you know, under the circumstances of not having Connor Wegman now for the rest of the season. I think for what is being asked of him with this offense, I think he's playing lights out right now. He has weapons. He has Moose Muhammad. He has a nice Smith.
He's his big brother.
Yeah. Like, he has Stewart. All of these players out there with him. I mean, he has weapons. It's just, can Petrino and Fisher draw up a good game plan in this game to really, you know, knock out this Tennessee defense that, quite honestly, they've also been up and down too. Like, sometimes I don't even know what they expect from Tennessee's defense.
Or Tennessee in general.
Yeah, or Tennessee in general. I don't know. It's just Tennessee's so up and down, and I know this game is in Neyland Stadium. I know that place can be just just
it can get crazy.
Yeah.
Over 100,000 fans. Just
exactly.
A sea of orange just going insane. Yeah.
Right. I mean, you going in enemy territory anytime you're facing Tennessee in their field. So.
And it's the CBS game too. You know, the fans, they're going to be turned up. They know that it's a 2:30 game.
Right.
You know. Yeah.
Exactly. So you know, over 100,000 people just rocking out. Like, that's not an easy place to play. But
oh no,
I do think A&M, with the talent that they have, with how Max Johnson is playing right now, I do think A&M can definitely, you know, win this ball game. And I look for them to win this ball game too on Saturday. It's just, as long as the defense plays lights out as well, I think they'll have a chance. For Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
If they want to win this ball game, I think it is going to have to come down not only with their defense, because right now, y'all like just looking at the yards allowed in this game right now, Tennessee they're giving up right now for the season so far. They're at 308.2. A&M is at 268.8. So that's the total yards allowed right now. But in terms of the offensive side of the ball, if Tennessee wants to win this football game, Joe Milton's going to have to play one of his best games of the year. He's going to have to play better than he played these last couple weeks, especially that Florida game. He did not play well at all. So yeah, I'm definitely going to really look and see how Joe Milton plays in this football game, because if it becomes kind of like a back and forth battle between him and Max Johnson in terms of getting the ball out, moving downfield, maybe this game might turn into the shootout. I actually think this game could be the shootout of the week.
It can. Yeah, I'm interested to see how he plays too, because A&M's defensive line, we've sung their praises. Like, it's as talented of a bunch in the nation, in the country, and I want to see if he can sit back and take and handle the pressure, or is he going to rely on the legs to extend plays and get first downs? I mean, that can work too, but at some point, Milton is going to have to make some throws.
Right.
There's no doubt about it. He's going to have to connect on some bombs, some tough 50-50 balls with his receivers, or if that receiver is open, he's going to have to stand there, take the hit, and dot him for a first down or for an even bigger play. And we've seen film this season of a lot of some throws being there and him just missing.
Right.
Just missing them. I want to see him make those passes, and he's going to have to make those passes and connect on those reads to win this game. And since I haven't seen it consistently, I can't go with Tennessee.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I'm right there with you, where I just trust the Texas A&M's defense and Max Johnson just a little bit more right now.
Yes, that's what it is. It ain't Jimbo.
No.
Boy, I'm going back-to-back weeks picking Jimbo. Lord have mercy. Where are we coming to? But don't let me down, A&M. Back-to-back weeks I'm picking you guys. Come on now. Lord, what am I doing picking Jimbo Fisher back-to-back weeks? But yes, they need this one though.
Yeah.
They can't afford to have 3 losses before November comes.
No.
You need this one.
No. Everything's right in front of you. Both teams, everything's right in front of them. If we're being honest. But if we had to choose one, I think I think A&M is in prime position right now.
I think it's A&M too, man. Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Aggies as well. So,
yeah.
Oof. That tasted nasty coming out the mouth. Another week of saying A&M, but hey, here we are.
Here we are, and look, it probably won't be the last time. All right, you know, I'll guarantee you.
Oh boy. Yeah. Anything else you got to add on this one? I think we covered all the bases.
No. I got A&M winning in this game. Possibly by 10 points. So we'll see.
I do too. I would say 13. I wanted to say even 17-20, but I just don't. I haven't seen A&M's offense be prolific enough. I feel like to feel confident saying that, but I will say in that 10 to 13 point range as well. Which would be very impressive going on the road and getting a win like that.
Yeah, very impressive.
But that's the kind of performance they need, though. They need to get a win like that, bounce back, and shake off that Bama loss. A game that you had opportunities to win, learn from it, and capitalize in those same opportunities in this matchup.
Exactly. And we'll see. We'll see what happens. Like I said, in the SEC this week, I think that's one of the most interesting matchups. So we'll definitely see what happens.
For sure.
All right. Well, Chris, are you ready to head down to Notre Dame and talk
Let's
about
get it? Shoot,
the big game?
You trying to pack? Trying to pack up. We hitting the road. You said head down. We can pull up to South Bend in Indiana. Hey, South Bend ain't too far from here. It's in driving distance for your boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I just hop up on a plane. Catch you in a couple hours.
Hey, let me know when you land. I'll pick you up at the airport. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, man. So we got a big game up in South Bend, Indiana, where the Fighting Irish will be hosting the USC Trojans, Chris. Last week, we talked about it, where USC had a crazy game against Arizona, where they went practically 3 overtimes in that game to beat 3
overtimes.
The Wildcats.
Your boy called it, man. USC. They love. I ain't gonna say it playing down to their competition, just not playing up to their skill level.
They love chaos. They love putting people through chaotic games.
That's what they do best.
Yeah, they do it out of spite. I don't know why, but hey, if you're a USC fan, look, I hope you got all the medication needed to get through these games, because goodness gracious.
Man. And then Notre Dame, they got handled by your Cardinals.
Yeah.
By Louisville. Notre Dame made it a little closer at the end, but Louisville played very well. They looked really good against Notre Dame. That was a good performance by them. So the Irish hungry to get back home and bounce back.
Absolutely. I think this game is going to be a barn burner for sure. We're about to learn a lot about both teams, but where they're at. For me, I think I'm going to go with Notre Dame. Vegas has Notre Dame right now as a 3-point favorite. Over under is at 60. I think that's really too high. I think it might be a little bit under 60. I'd say probably like
it might be
45.
But I think Vegas doesn't respect USC's defense, and I can't fault them. USC's defense has struggled. It's a talented bunch, but that's Lincoln Riley teams, man. Defense does not come first for Lincoln Riley.
Struggling might be an understatement.
The defense is bad. It's just bad, Kory.
They are wildly just inept.
It looks like a defense wearing the wrong jersey. That's not a USC defense. That ain't the Pete Carroll defense I grew up watching as a young lad.
Not at all. This is man. This defense is light years away from what that defense was. Well, all of those defenses were.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
I,
USC's defense ain't it.
no,
That's I feel I might I might smash the over in this one.
think so.
If I was a betting person, I might think about smashing the over. I can see a case where this game gets a little high scoring. But normally it's not. We saw Notre Dame play Ohio State, and we saw how tough of a tussle that game was. But Ohio State's defense is one of the better defenses in the nation. Notre Dame is a physical team too, so it makes sense that game was low scoring. But man, it's gonna be tough holding Caleb Williams down all game. But and especially, I think we might get a sharp Caleb Williams too. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. I know I'm the one right now saying that the over under is probably a little bit too high right now. But on this show I like to kind of bring a little unpredictability into the
different
whole
perspective.
equation. Yeah,
that's my. It's two voices, two people. We bring two different pair of eyes to the table.
Absolutely. And I only say that just because if you really watch USC the last several weeks, Chris, like there's been plenty of mistakes. Some of them that have happened under Caleb Williams, where bad snaps, all kinds of stuff, false starts. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that's generally things that happen with your offense, but like it just sometimes when you look at this team, it's like they're just never on 10, where they're never in sync, and I think those things can create a sloppy ball game. Just in general, and let's be honest, Notre Dame has those issues from time to time too. To the point where they're not perfect,
and they will trot out 10 men on the biggest play of the game.
They will do it, and then look at each other afterwards and ask themselves, why did we do it?
So you're right.
That's how it is.
You're right.
But yeah, I look at all of those factors, Chris, can be a recipe for an actual low scoring game. If both teams if they're not on their A game,
if they're not focused, just sloppy.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone has to win. Someone has to lose. I'm not gonna totally say that it won't turn into a shootout, because it could definitely get you.
It can. Right.
And Caleb Williams he's definitely the quarterback that will make you turn into that sort of a team if you have to. But yeah, I just think the last couple of weeks, the slow starts, just the inability to get in sync with one another, can create a bunch of chaos that can create like a low scoring game, lower than what we think. I think it's going to be really low? I don't think so. That's one of the reasons why I mentioned the over under should be around like 40, 45. But we'll see.
There's very much a world where Notre Dame gets on USC early. Like they can jump on USC early. Fresh off getting not necessarily dominated, but beat pretty handedly by Louisville. Like I said, to start this segment. And they'll be back home. The coaches have been on them all week.
Yeah.
And they even have to. It's USC. They hate USC. These teams don't like each other. So
right.
you already have that factor.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they're back home. I think there's a chance that they come out humming. Those same mistakes that we mentioned that, USC makes and Notre Dame has made at times too this season. They might come out clicking and might put USC backs against the wall early, where they have to kind of overcome a deficit. I would not be shocked one bit if that's the case. But man, we're seeing a sync so far. We got another game to go too that we'll discuss. I'm going with Notre Dame as well. I think I like you said. I'm a USC supporter. I like Lincoln Riley, but I am not liking what I'm seeing so far.
The product is not as good as what a USC fan would have hoped for.
What they should be. This team is way too talented to play the football they've been playing.
Right.
Way too talented, and it's about to get real. This stretch this stretch they have for the next 4 weeks. Good grief! They got some teams that they are about to be playing. They are about to earn every win. They gotta come with it week in and week out.
Absolutely.
Let me see. You have a schedule in front of you because I know they got Notre Dame this week.
Yeah, let me go ahead and pull it up.
I think it might be Oregon the following week.
So no. So they have Notre Dame this week. Next week, they have a home game against Utah. That's not going to be an easy game.
Right. Utah. Mm-hmm. And Utah's had their number. Beat them twice last season.
Yeah. You don't mess around with Utah. that goes for everyone in the Pac-12. Do not mess with Utah.
Right.
But yeah. Utah on the 21st. They have to travel to Cal for a October the 28th game. Back at home against Washington November the 4th. At Oregon on November the 11th. And
that's tough. Then you got UCLA.
Yeah, last game of the season. Your rival. So, it's not easy. This 3-game stretch. Just take Cal out of the equation. And that's no offense to Cal. Cal could definitely come into that game licking their chops.
That's going to be their Super Bowl. That might be the best game we see out of Cal this year.
Exactly.
But it's tough though, man. They're about to earn it.
It's definitely about to get real. Like they are going to have to earn
those mistakes. You can't make them. You can't make them, and it starts this week. It starts this week on the road against your rival Notre Dame.
Yeah.
But I think Notre Dame gets the win too. Hartman, I expect him to bounce back.
He's going to have to.
Yeah.
You can't throw 3 interceptions this week.
I expect him to bounce back. I don't know if he has a huge game, but he definitely doesn't have the performance he had last week. And if he does, then USC can very well leave South Bend with the W if their defense can replicate that. But from what we've seen out of USC's defense this year, you don't expect them to have that kind of a ball game. You expect Notre Dame's offense to have get the ball moving downfield. So when you combine Hartman being a veteran, good QB, and USC's lack of want to on defense, I don't know what it is. If it's a scheme thing, an effort thing, I mean, it's probably a combination of all the above. I feel like Notre Dame should bounce back and win. especially coming off a loss.
Yeah.
I think this is a team that has the makeup to bounce back, and like we saw them do against Duke, they lost against Ohio State. All right, bet they pulled up their big boy pants. They hit the road and gutted one out against a tough, really good Duke team. Then fall against the Cardinals. All right, I've seen them be resilient already this year. I expect them to be resilient again and pull up their big boy britches and get a win against your rival USC, and everybody sleeps good and it feels good about themselves on Saturday night.
No, I agree. If I had to make my pick right now, I'm looking at Notre Dame right now as being the better football team. You're at home. I don't think Sam Hartman is going to go out there and throw 3 interceptions this week. I do think that they're hungry. They are pissed off about last week, and they want to correct a lot of those issues that they showed last week against Louisville. So I'm picking Notre Dame in this game as well, and yeah, we'll definitely see where it goes. But yeah, anything else you want to add to this game before we talk about our last game of the show?
Nah, nothing else. Just excited for another rivalry that's like just near and dear to my heart as a college football fan. We have some memories with this USC Notre Dame game. The Bush push. That's a big moment. Maybe these teams clean things up, and maybe we get another classic game. It wouldn't shock me one bit. But just ready to enjoy just another one of the treasures that college football has to give us, and that's USC and Notre Dame, both relevant, both really good teams this season. Ranked matchup, and just see what 2 of the biggest names in college football, what they have to offer for us this weekend.
Right. Yeah, I think you're gonna see a much tougher football game for both teams this week. And yeah, like you said, this game is historic. It has all of the historical traits to it. I should say that makes this game a rivalry. So it's going to be interesting. I can't wait, and yeah, we'll definitely be here talking about it on Monday, just to break it down and see how that game fared.
Yes, sir.
So yeah.
Now this is the game. This the last one we're about to talk to. This is actually I couldn't wait to talk about this one.
That's why that's one of the reasons why I put it last. Like why not?
I couldn't wait to talk about this one. Boy, because this is an interesting game. I'm gonna go ahead and let you take the floor, but this is such an interesting matchup.
So yeah, Chapel Hill is going to be jumping on ABC 6:30 p.m. kickoff game this Saturday. Chapel Hill will be jumping because the Tar Heels will be hosting number 25 Miami Hurricanes. Why are they 25? I don't know after what happened last week. But I'm joking, Miami fans. Come on now. Come on. Maybe I'm not joking that much. But North Carolina, Miami this week, Chris. We all know what happened down in Miami last week, where Georgia Tech, they were dead and buried. We thought they were done. 30 seconds left on the clock. Nope. Miami fumbles the ball. Georgia Tech takes it about 70 something yards down the field, touchdown. They win the football game. Just an embarrassing loss for the Hurricanes. Mario Cristobal had to go on the podium, explain himself in front of the Miami media. And
after doing this before at
exactly.
Oregon, this isn't the first time he's done this. They lost to Stanford that same exact way.
I know.
By not taking a knee. But go ahead. I'm still not over it.
It's okay. I'm not over it. but yeah. Miami's looking to try to bounce back after that devastating loss at Hard Rock Stadium. I'll give the floor to you, Chris, just because I do want to hear what you have to say. What do you think about both of these teams? North Carolina, who's playing really good football right now, is playing at home, granted, but Miami, who suffered that bad loss last week, has to get up and go on the road. Are they going to be pissed off? What's going to happen in this game? How do you think both teams are going to perform? And do you think Miami has a shot? Do we have a chance to pull off this upset?
So these two teams before the Georgia Tech loss, these were my two favorite teams out of the ACC. I've liked what I was before the shenanigans. I liked what I saw out of Miami a lot this year. I've loved what I've seen from the Canes, and I've loved what I've seen out of North Carolina. I feel like, honestly, both of these teams could represent the ACC. I mean, it could win the ACC championship. Like, I really like them both. And I expect this to be a great game. I expect Miami to come ready to play football. We got two great quarterbacks. We have, Drake, who very well be a top 3 pick quarterback for North Carolina. Mm-hmm. And then we have Tyler Van Dyke too, Miami's QB. He's played well this season. Miami they struggled this past week against Georgia Tech. They were double-digit favorites. Should have won that game by double-digit points. Didn't play their A game. I expect them to come out ready to play football this week. We saw them go up against a tough physical defense like Texas A&M. They made A&M look bad. A&M needed some crazy special team plays to really make it a game. But when it came to what went down on offense and defense, that defense couldn't do nothing. Nope. I mean, nothing with Miami. Miami was really like a scrimmage the way they were moving the ball against Texas A&M. That's saying something.
I know. You would have thought Tyler Van Dyke was Caleb Williams out there.
I mean, he was balling, man. Yes. And North Carolina has a really good defensive line too. We saw what those guys did and how they made South Carolina look to start the season. They made the offensive line for South Carolina look really, really bad. They really exposed them. So we'll see how this plays out. But I might surprise you, Kory. I think Miami goes on the road and does it. I think they bounce back. I really like North Carolina a lot. I can't get over the fact that they are North Carolina. They are North Carolina.
Playing good in college football right now. Not college basketball, college football.
We seen this movie last year. They got off to a hot start last year, and then they all went ahead and lost like 4 straight games. I just can't get over it. And Mac Brown has done a good job as North Carolina's head coach, making them relevant, bringing in recruits. Of course, North Carolina has their top receiver, who's a transfer. He's eligible to play. So that's a big boost for him. That's it. This will be his second game back. I just, as much as my head, like seeing both teams play, like I really see a world. I can see North Carolina winning this game, but I just can't get over the fact that they are North Carolina. Mac Brown is the head coach of North Carolina, and we've seen North Carolina lose games that they shouldn't win. And what more perfectly set up is a game where a team that just blew it because they didn't take a knee is coming to your crib, and you should smack them. We all heard the saying, don't let one loss become two.
Right.
I don't think Miami lets that happen. Coach Cristobal is a really good coach. As dumb as that was, he's a good coach. And Miami has looked really good on offense at times. I know they struggled against Tech, but I think they bounced back. I really think this will be a locked-in football team. I don't think they collapse. I think they come into North Carolina really looking to make a statement. I ain't going to say they going to beat them, like, you know what I'm saying, blow them out. But look, I ain't going to hold you. They can beat them like 31-17, 34-20. I see something like that playing now. I really think Miami comes and they bring it to North Carolina. I know it sounds crazy after what just happened.
Now, granted,
but
they got good.
I'm picking Miami.
Yeah,
they do.
You know, I like Henry Perez Jr. And I know he was hurting last week after giving up that football. In that game against Georgia Tech, you know he's gonna want to bounce back and have a really good football game. So, for me, am I counting Miami out? In all honestly, no, because this is college football, folks. We don't know what's going to happen each week in these games until we watch.
Like we said, it's a week-to-week thing.
Yeah. and look, maybe Vegas knows something about it. I think I didn't mention the line right now. It's a 3.5. Like they have North Carolina as a 3.5 point favorite. Over under is at 57. So they know something that we probably have already hinted, of course, but they know something that probably a couple people don't know, that Miami's coming, and they're coming to this game pissed off, ready to scrap, just so they can get just the horror stories, the images of Georgia Tech beating them on their home turf.
They want to embarrass North Carolina at home, which is why I said what I said about a score prediction where I can see them winning by 14. But they want to embarrass them. If they can put up 50 points this game, they will.
Yeah. I mean, you got the quarterback to do it.
Yes. I mean, we saw what Tyler did to A&M's defense. That's why I brought that up to start my this conversation. If he can do that to that team, if that Miami offense can click the way they did that game, and I expect them to be as sharp and focused, the most sharp and focused they've been since that game. It can be interesting, man. This could be a high scoring affair because Drake May is that man too now. We ain't talking about Drake May as a top 3 pick for no reason either. North Carolina ain't no slouch.
No, they're not. They're really good. They're really good. Yeah, I like if I had to pick, like my prediction is NC. I do think NC will win ultimately. But
what's going to be the difference maker? Is it that defensive line? Do you think that D line causes some noise, wrecks some havoc against Miami's O-line, who's proven himself to be very good? Is it the running game? Because North Carolina actually has a running game this year.
They do. They do. Omarion Hamptons, he's pretty good right now. He has 88 carries, 461 yards, and 7 touchdowns. Paris Jr. from Miami, he has 59 carries, 379 yards on the ground with 4 touchdowns. Both really good downhill backs, I should say. I think it is going to come down to who wears who out. And it probably is going to be one of those Russian affair-esque games where they're going to be going downhill on each other. They're still going to throw the football and be honest with one another. I think you got 2 of the best quarterbacks in the ACC right now to date.
For sure.
But yeah, I do think this is going to be a physical football game that we're really going to see from both teams, and they're going to utilize these running backs as about as well as they possibly can to win the football game. But ultimately, my pick is with NC, at least winning by a touchdown.
Dang.
And that's at
we'll best. Have to come back to this one.
Yeah. At best, a touchdown.
I can't wait for us to come back to this one.
Might win by a field goal.
Okay. And I feel good about saying double digits. I can see it being like a 10-point win for Miami. I wouldn't be shocked if it's more. Not knocking North Carolina. I feel like if Miami plays their best football, it can low-key be a shock to the North Carolina system. I don't know if North Carolina is prepared for Miami's best punch. Things have been very well for North Carolina. They've been able to do the punching. But after what we saw this past weekend, I expect Miami to really come out swinging and to deliver one of their best performances of the season. I really expect that. I don't think this team is going to fold. And maybe at the end of the regular season, we'll see how the season goes. Maybe it could be a blessing in disguise. Maybe they lock in to a point where they play lights out football to close the season, and maybe they can flip that to be a turning point in a good way. But I really like the ceiling of this Miami team, and I think they play very close to it, if not at their ceiling this weekend. I really think they turn it around. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting one of their best efforts this year.
I can agree with you on that front. I don't think they're going to just lay down. Those players, they were hurting last week, and there's still a lot in front for Miami too. Beating the North Carolina football team that's clicking on all cylinders at their home turf could be huge. It will definitely take that foul taste of losing against Georgia Tech out of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
If they can squeak out this game with a W. So I look for them to be really competitive in this football game, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. But for my pick, I'm still picking North Carolina to win the football game, but I don't think they're
I ain't
going
mad at
to run
you.
away with it.
I ain't mad at you one bit. You know I'm a Drake May fan.
Me too.
So, I mean, he's looked very impressive this season. Very poised. Just makes the right plays. Makes heady plays to go along with his athleticism. I mean, he shows why he's just one of the top rated QB prospects heading into this upcoming NFL draft. You know,
Right.
He pops on the field. So that Miami defense is going to have to come with it to make life difficult for him and to contain him. You slow him down, you give yourself a really good chance. But it does, as much as I've talked about Miami's offense, it does start with them defensively setting the tone and confusing Drake May, making things difficult on him, putting pressure on him, and not allowing him to sit back and cook of it. Because if he has time, he'll pick you apart with the best of them. I mean, he'll embarrass you.
Yeah.
So Miami's defense will have to play one of their best games this season for sure, and really bring it to North Carolina.
I agree. Both really good quarterbacks, really good running backs, really good receivers on the perimeter. This game has a recipe for probably being the sleeper game of the week. That's one of the reasons why I wanted us to cap off the show with just talking about it, just because with all the crazy things that happened last week with that Miami game, this game is still huge for both teams, and I think we're in for it.
And wouldn't it be? It's so college football, man. If Miami wins this game, after losing, it's so college football. You know what I'm saying?
Can you see Mario Cristobal after they won? You just see him see him being talked to by one of the sideline reporters after the game, and he's just smiling after.
Oh, he's gonna be cheesing because look, like I said, if they win, I don't think it's a single digit. We just pulled it, eked it out. I think he's gonna have the big cheese on his face, like you said. If they win, I think they kind of win handedly, and he's sitting there looking like the king.
I mean, you kind of got Kane. Yeah, he look at Kang. Kane.
The Kane.
That's what he gonna be looking like. You might as well give him a crown and one of those king staffs.
He gonna have his best Deion Sanders smile going.
Exactly.
all the pearly whites showing. So yeah. But yeah, it would be so college football. So that's I'll be glued to that game as well. It's going to be a fun weekend. This is nothing to do with college football, but then after the games, there's a big boxing match. Tim Tszyu fights this weekend, so I'm a big boxing fan. So man, my TV's going to be sick of me.
Well, let's hope you don't have an OLED TV or anything having ridiculous burn in or anything like that.
No, we don't need that. yeah, man. It's another good weekend though. Another good weekend.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So can't wait to watch all of the games for week 7. and come back and talk about it on Monday.
Come back and talk about how wrong we were. No, I'm just playing.
Well, let's hope not.
Hopefully we were pretty money with these
Right.
predictions. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
We did well last week too. You especially with the Louisville win, and then we said Georgia. So Georgia should probably put it on Kentucky after how they played against Auburn and the other matchups too they had this year where they hadn't looked like themselves, and
Right.
they looked like themselves against Kentucky. So no, we have been pretty solid with the predictions.
Yeah. So, which is a good thing. Yeah, I think we're kind of reading each other fairly well right now this season. So hey,
but yeah,
can't.
Let's keep the reading going. Let's see how this week goes. Wouldn't mind some upsets either. Who doesn't like chaos?
Right. I'm a man of good, clean fashion chaos in college football. So here's the hoping we get some more this season.
Got a little bit of a lot of the big time squads are playing at noon against some opponents they should handle.
Oh yeah,
but we'll see.
We'll see. We'll see. Absolutely. Well, Chris, that is it for us. That's all of the games that we want to talk about for week 7, of course. Before we head out of here, let all the good people know where they can follow you on social media.
Follow me on social media on X at Chris_Bolton_12 and on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_. Holla at your boy.
Awesome. And for me, you can follow me on X at Listen to KSW, all one handle. I'm on there talking college football, professional wrestling, video games, all of that good stuff. So be sure to follow me on there. But yeah, that is it for us guys. Like we said, we'll be back with another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast on Monday, just to recap all of the wild events in week 7. So we hope to have you guys listening then.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys. Well, y'all have a great weekend, and we will see you guys next week.